instructional video on how to do a spring cleanup in your garden. And it's really an exciting time of year to be outside. Pick a nice spring day when it's beautiful outside. And it's the first chance to get to be out and see all the things that are coming up. So Karen and I are going to show you how to cut back some specific perennials and grasses. We recommend doing this in late February or March. It's not super time sensitive, so that's why we said make sure and pick a nice day.
I'm going to show you how to cut back grasses. You may have taller grasses like this switchgrass, or you may have shorter grasses like this carex. So for any of the grasses, you don't want to cut them all the way back to the ground. You want to cut them about 4 to 6 inches from the ground. And you need a good pair of pruners to make this easy and fast. And then you want to save all of that you have cut because you can compost it. This is Shenandoah switchgrass that I'm pruning now. For the smaller grasses like this Rosea carex, or it's a type of sedge, you might need to use scissors to pull off all of the brown grass because it's just finer. And as you're pruning this time of year, which is really around March, you'll see all of the new growth coming up already. You don't have to cut back your grasses. It's really more of an aesthetic preference to maintain a neat garden. In nature, of course, nobody cuts back the grasses. Purple coneflower is one of my favorite echinacea. I like to leave the seed heads up in the fall and winter for the interest, but also I'm feeding the birds with these seeds. But now it's time to create habitat for the bees and to clean up my garden. So I'm going to prune at a staggered height to also create a place for the bees to lay their eggs, bees that I want in my garden as a pollinator garden. I also like to use the dried seed heads and flower arrangements in my house. While you're out pruning back your garden, take advantage of the nice wet soil and the cool weather to pull out those early weeds by the roots because we don't want them to spread. They're really not hard to pull out at this time of year. They come right up and it's much better than spraying. So most native shrubs really need very little pruning. This is sweet pepper bush or clethra, also beautyberry, red chokeberry, other good examples of native shrubs that don't really need to be cut back. This Florida sunshine alyssum or anise is in my rain garden where most of these plants have been in this video. This is another example of where I want to prune back, not up here, but pruning deep in the plant to create new growth so it's a nice full plant. Shrubs that bloom in the spring like azaleas, you do not want to prune back right now. You want to wait till you enjoy the blooms first. So while this might look like it needs to be pruned, I'm going to wait till the summer after the blooms happen on the azalea.
This is an example of some things that have been in planters that actually can be cut back this time of year. This is the Walker's Low catmint, and we can just take off the extra brown here. And that's part of the fun of doing this, is that you get to be close to the plants and see all the new growth that's happening, which is always fun in the spring for people who love plants. And this is penstemon, and we're gonna just clip that off. The little extras, but you can do all this stuff in planters too. This is the time of year also to add mulch to rain gardens and to other beds. You want to add 1 to 2 inches of mulch, so think small, not super big. And you can use either triple shredded hardwood mulch, or you can use leaf litter. And that's just dried leaves. And that can either be from your yard, maybe you put all the dried leaves from your yard in here, or you can also purchase that from the city of Raleigh, because when they collect all the leaves, they compost those and you can purchase that for a relatively good price. And the reasons for mulching are to keep down weeds and also to rebuild the soil, to add things back into the soil.